And welcome back to the NTPRD Chiller in Springfield, Ohio for the conclusion of the 2019 Post-Ohio Districts Tournament. This is Lee W. Mowen and Kent Jacobs here on the YouTube home of the Academy Hockey Club. Thanks for joining us. And we have 3 games left. And we'll start off with 5th versus 6th place and the LaSalle Lancers rematching with the Troy Trojans. Just yesterday at 7 p.m., yesterday evening, the Lancers took down the Troy Trojans 9-3. Zach Uhlenbrock scored 2 goals for Troy. On the other side, LaSalle serviced by many Lancers in the win, as LaSalle forced Adams getting another start in the net, opposed by senior goalie for Troy, Scott Riedel. Kent, what are some of your keys to this game for both sides?
Well, for Troy, again, defensive intensity is what I feel like. They need to maintain a physical presence inside and in front of their own net, protect their goaltender. He's had a lot of ammunition put against him in this tournament. Protect him, be aggressive, get the puck out of their zone.
Here's Uhlenbrock with a shot, and it's covered up quickly by Forrest Adams. That's the captain, one of 2 donning the captaincy for the Troy Trojans. And Zach Uhlenbrock scoring 2 goals against Forrest Adams and the Lancers. And he'll have the first shot on goal of the game. 13 seconds in, as Uhlenbrock lines up with Luke Ernie for this face-off. Troy without the services of Ian Kuntz, down low by the trunks of Forrest Adams. And it's caught by LaSalle's goalie. And we'll drop it towards his right now with 19 seconds gone from this contest. LaSalle defeated Troy 9-3 for their first win of the pod. LaSalle went 0-2 before the Troy game, losing to Beaver Creek 4-2 and the Dayton Stealth JV 6-3. Troy, a tough pod tournament, as it's 11-1, Indian Hill winning. Alter won 14-0, and LaSalle took down the Trojans 9-3. We played 40 minutes. There's no score. LaSalle back in the home white jerseys with the lighter shade of red sleeves. And Troy back in the traveling reds with the white numbers on the back. Uhlenbrock and Connor Sexton giving chase to the captain and Matthew Miller. Forrest Adams taking on the goalie of Scott Riedel. And 1 minute into this game, it's a battle of the Southwest Ohio High School Hockey League Gold Division, as it's a scoreless affair between Troy and LaSalle. Pop back from the neutral zone. That's Zach Uhlenbrock, pushed up by Alex Ryan. Turnover. Here's Caden Mathis coming down around the left corner. Shot saved by Forrest Adams off the paddle. And now here's Miller, tangled up with Garrett Paff. Puck swept back in Troy's attacking zone deep. We have played now about a minute and a half and kept it nicely by Grant Garrity, scooped up by defenseman Alex Ryan. No score here with 13:27 to go in the first period. It's Merck. Great to see Marshall Merck back out there. He was attended to by the trainees twice, and luckily he's back out there A-OK. Trying to get the puck back is Caden Lombardo on the left side of the ice. Drop back for Garrity at the point, chiseled forward off the right palm of Alex Ryan. We have played nearly 2 minutes here at the Springfield Chiller. Outlet pass towards the slot, cannot find Path, and now scooped up by LaSalle's Marshall Merck. Merck rolling forward to the neutral zone, chased by Rayner. Merck on the right wing, matched up with one defender. Shot saved by Scott Riedel. First shot on goal of the game for the Lancers. 12:47 to go in the first period. 0-0 your score. Back to Troy. Here comes Jack McGuirk. Jack McGuirk takes his shoulder, rolls it on the left towards Forrest Adams. Shot, and Jack McGuirk scores. Jack McGuirk goes low past Forrest Adams, and the captain rings the bell. Jack McGuirk scores. 12:37 to go in the first, and Troy has their first lead of the tournament at 1-0. 12:37 to go in the opening period.
Great offensive push by the Trojans. That's what they need. They may as well be aggressive and try to turn the tide in this last game of the tournament.
Out back to the Trojan defense as LaSalle's looking at a 1-0 deficit, but 12.5 to play in the first period. This is for 5th place in the Post-Ohio Districts Tournament. Troy went 0-3. LaSalle went 1-2. Back this way, Trojans on the right wing. Jack McGuirk scores to give Troy a 1-0 lead. Back around the right wing, scooped up now by Eric Holland. The Lancers were serviced by 7 different Lancers ringing the bell last night. And now pushed forward looking for Cahurl. It's out of his reach and scooped up by defenseman Carson Waite. By the Christmas tree corner, there is a funny story to that. We'll get to that as we roll on through these games. We have played 3:05, and it's 1-0 Troy. Your score. Back to the Trojans defense. It is picked up now by Connor Sexton. Unassisted goal for Jack McGuirk. As now here comes Benjamin Grimm away from Zach Uhlenbrock. There's 2 Trojans donning the captain's C, and there's 2 Trojans donning the alternate captain's A. Looking for the left wing, it's kept in by Mike McGuirk. Rolled around Mike McGuirk, pushed forward by Cahurl towards the left corner, and scooped up by Austin Strong. Right wing time, it's Grimm. Darting it back towards his defensive partner and Zachary Dyer. The Lancers without the services of Fletcher Pollitt. This is his second game as he was disqualified for fighting back in LaSalle. 6-3 loss to the Stealth JV. Picked up now by the Trojans. Austin Strong away from the big body of Luke Ernie, who does the alternate captain's A. Dyer sends it wide. It was tipped, and it's pounced on by Scott Riedel. 4 minutes into the first period. Troy leads LaSalle 1-0. It's Jack McGuirk unassisted. We'll drop it to the right of Scott Riedel as Ernie comes in for the face-off, and I believe that's Garrett Paff out there. 2 will tangle through the legs of Ernie, and the one-timer. Engstrom does not get enough English on that shot attempt. And down this way comes Troy. Troy now, it is picked up by Austin Strong. Strong looking towards the slot, and he cannot find anyone. It's Dyer sweeping around, looking for Ernie, and Engstrom sells it down. 1-0 Trojans, 10:39 to go in the first period here from Springfield, Ohio. The NTPRD Chiller is home to the Wittenberg Tigers, Wright State Raiders hockey programs, the Springfield Blue Jackets youth hockey, and also the Dayton Stealth youth hockey organization. Here comes Ernie, a drop back, and now settle for Engstrom. Off of Riedel, rebound, down low, there's Riedel diving towards the left, and the whistles will blow as Riedel keeps the puck out of the back of the net. And there were Lancers and Trojans all over the place. With 10:14 to go in the first period, LaSalle trailing Troy by a 1-0 margin. Jack McGuirk, an unassisted goal for Troy. We'll drop it to the right of Scott Riedel. That's Marshall Merck taking it back against Zach Uhlenbrock. A shot by Dyer off the knees of Uhlenbrock, and down this way comes the Trojans. Here's Uhlenbrock, and he can't get a clean shot off Forrest Adams. Swept back, tipped by Jack McGuirk, going wide of the cage. The Trojans have been very aggressive to start off this first period. Now back for Rayner. Rayner picks it up for LaSalle, darting it for the centerman, looking for Adam Wiley. And it gets away from Wiley, but it won't go for icing. It's touched off by many sticks in the neutral zone. And now around the left corner it goes as Troy leads 1-0, 9:37 to go in the first period. Jack McGuirk's goal is unassisted. Left point time, that's Alex Ryan, and he's blocked. Here comes Uhlenbrock again, this time on the right wing, one-on-one. Here comes the second Lancer. Uhlenbrock has no outlet, and Rayner picks up the loose puck. However, it's picked up by Mathis in the neutral zone, and LaSalle goes back for it. That's Lombardo coming for it, colliding with the shoulders of Alex Ryan. Ryan swooping forward, looking for Merck. It's blocked by Paff. 9:08 to go in the first period as Troy leads 1-0. Now over for the winger, Marshall Merck. Knocks down his defender, now scooped up by Alex Ryan again. Going towards the right is Scharf. Nathan Scharf skips it over towards the left. Here comes Cahurl. Cahurl will lace into the attacking zone offside. And we'll come back and do it again for a face-off in the neutral zone. 8:47 to go in the first, last game of the season for both the Troy Trojans and the LaSalle Lancers. And it's 1-0 Troy, your score. It's hard to believe this is the end of the hockey season. And next week, next Sunday, we'll crown a state championship in the state playoffs. Scooped up by Scharf going towards the left, and it's settled down by Mike McGuirk. Now up top, it's Scharf tangled up with a stick of Aiden Lombardo. Caden Mathis also going for it. As down low, that's Finn V. Finn V trying to help out. Looks like Connor Blank. No, that's Sharf again. Holland going back for it with Cahurl. And now matched up with Garrett Paff. Swap towards the left. It is Austin Strong. Back this way. Scooped up by LaSalle. It's 1-0 Troy. 8:09 to play in the first. Jack McGuirk unassisted goal. Now Skylar Adams some open ice, and it's a 2-on-1. Cahurl, the Everlancer, and a shot glove by Scott Riedel. Great measurement on that shot by Riedel. A 2-on-1, lots of space. It was taken by Skylar Adams as he had the 2-on-1. Cahurl on the other side. The defender was closer to Cahurl. And we'll have a face-off to the left of Riedel with 8:02 to play in the first. 1-0 your score, favoring the Troy Trojans. Jack McGuirk, unassisted goal. Back this way, here comes Troy. It is Eulenbrock, left wing, chipped away by the body of Zachary Dyer. Around the right corner it goes, and now swapped towards Matthew Miller and Luke Ernie, the centerman, looking up for the control on Michael Clisham. Clisham left wing, drop back, it's Dyer. Met up with a Trojan, shot down low, rebound swept away. Here's Ernie, right back at you, and Ernie cannot score. It's blocked up by the Trojans as it is Troy trying to sweep it through. 7:25 to go in the first period. 1-0 Trojans, your score. Scott Riedel opposite Forrest Adams. Great start for the Trojans. Now LaSalle trying to get back into it, and it's going to be dropped from Troy's own zone, and past Forrest Adams at the goal line, and that's icing on Troy. That will bring out a few new Trojans, 3 in fact. It's Connor Sexton, Austin Strong, and Mike McGuirk return for the Trojans. They're led by head coach Phil Knoll, and LaSalle's led by Murray Holland, with Adam Fagan the assistants. Carl Mick, Dave Force, Preston Hofler, your assistants for the Trojans. That shot goes wide with 7:07 to play in the first. 1-0 your score. Now for Engstrom. Engstrom drags it back, looking from the right wing. That's caught down low. Scott Riedel sweeps it away, looking for Austin Strong. Picked up left wing is LaSalle back on the attack. Rolling it forward is Connor Blank. Blank toward the slot, cannot find Wiley, goes for Dyer at the point. Dyer will send it from the point. That's off the shoulders of Jack McGuirk. 6:38 to go in the first period. 1-0 Trojans your score. Here comes Dyer again. Around the left corner. Dyer drives it by the Christmas tree. Down low, Riedel stop. Back out towards the corner. Dyer drops it, and it's slowed down by Blank. Going for Engstrom now. Engstrom pushing it forward. Engstrom gets a bump from behind and keeps rolling to the left face-off circle. Engstrom lost the handle, pulling up for a shot with some open ice, and could not hold on. Troy looking for Sexton. No icing as Forrest Adams will come out and take it away from Sexton. And Adams couldn't clear it. Sexton knocked down, first penalty of the game, and I believe it's going to be interference on Garrett Engstrom. Engstrom knocked down Connor Sexton. So 2 were going for the puck. With 6:02 to go in the first, it's roughing the call. It's not interference, it's roughing. That'll be a 2-minute minor on Garrett Engstrom. And Troy leading 1-0 off the unassisted goal from Jack McGuirk. Will have a power play coming up. Very risky for Forrest Adams to come out of the crease and play that with an incoming Connor Sexton. As Engstrom will sit in for 2. Engstrom waiting to get in the box. And now we will have Cahurl take the LaSalle side of the face-off, and Troy going back to work. And Wade couldn't send it in. Cahurl rolls on the left. Cahurl! And it's wide of Scott Riedel. 12 seconds gone from the first power play of the game. It's Troy's as LaSalle trails 1-0, but looking for a shorthander to tie things up. Skylar Adams on the pursuit of the puck carrier, as Troy now darting over towards the left. That is controlled by Grant Garrity. Grant Garrity in the attacking zone, sends it in. That's wide of Forrest Adams. Roughing the call, Garrett Engstrom, and a power play goal! Caden Mathis. It's 2-0 Trojans with 5:28 to go in the first, and the power play took 34 seconds.
Trojans crashed the net there. Nice play, bouncing on the rebound, had his stick on the ice and was ready for it.
Caden Mathis scores his first year with the Troy Trojans hockey program, and he gets a big goal as Troy takes 34 seconds off the power play. And Troy goes on top of LaSalle, 2-0. Face-off center ice, scooped up by Mathis, the goal scorer. It's a power play goal for Troy as the Trojans double their lead. Path going on the chase, but it's picked up by Alex Ryan. Stopped at the point, it's Austin Strong. Back to Strong around the left corner. Now picked up by Lombardo on the right side. With 5:08 to go in the first, Troy now leads 2-0. It's Mathis power play goal, saved by Adams. Assist from Mathis's goal goes to Garrett Path and Caden Lombardo. Again, Lombardo and Path assist on Mathis's power play goal, and Troy leads LaSalle 2-0, 4:51 to go in the first period. Alex Ryan darts it off the boards. Matthew Miller trying to rotate it around, set by Strong, and now for Garrett Path across the Blue Jackets logo. Sends it wide right of the cage of Forrest Adams, then goes back in place of captain Zach Uhlenbrock. Down this way, Sexton in the slot, pushed away by Luke Ernie. Ernie left wing, drops it, could not find Connor Blank to drive it. Blank now gets it from Finn V. 4:22 to go in the first. Troy 2, LaSalle 0. We do not have to worry about points anymore because the points were used to determine who plays at what time today. And we already have our games. LaSalle, Troy's here. And we have Indian Hill and Dayton. There's a shot going high by Uhlenbrock. Uhlenbrock trying to light the lamp. He has most of the Trojan goals this weekend for Troy. Coming into this game, Troy had 4 goals in 3 games. And right now, the Trojans have 2. Down the right wing as the Trojans lead 2-0. Offside went Matthew Miller. And we'll drop it by the Blue Jackets flag in the neutral zone with 3:53 to go in period number 1. Troy 2, LaSalle 0. Again, the power play goal from Mathis, assisted by Path and Lombardo. First assist on the game for the Trojan squad. And now Marshall Merck comes in for the face-off opportunity. That's Garrett Path. Now scooped up by Grimm. Holland up ahead. Now just out Mark and the Trojans defense back with it. Trojans playing very strong in this game. 3-on-2, focused on the right, swept around the corners as Holland closes in. Holland, one of the 7 Lancers that scored in LaSalle's 9-3 win over Troy yesterday evening. Now action behind the cage of Forrest Adams. Has been a busy goaltender for LaSalle. Skip forward, it's Merck now for Rayner. Back to Merck, left wing. Merck slipping past left point, and the handle is lost, and Troy's got a one-on-one working back this way as Mathis trying to squeeze his way past a pair of LaSalle defenders. Mathis continues the chase for that puck. That is a great job by Caden Mathis. Now Rayner up ahead. Rayner stood up by Carson Waite. Puck back to Troy. It's Sexton sweeping it around the right bend. Mathis's shift is done. 2:54 to play in the first. Troy 2, LaSalle 0. Goals unassisted, Jack McGuirk, and a power play goal for Caden Mathis. And the arm will go up, and LaSalle's heading back to the box. Back to the box go the Lancers with 2:43 to go in the first, and Troy leading 2-0, and a misconduct was just added. That's Marshall Merck to the box. And then a misconduct was just added. So that's 12 minutes against Marshall Merck. And someone's going to have to come in and serve the 2 minutes for LaSalle. Marshall Merck in the box. A misconduct was added just as Merck was going in there by the referee. Now Luke Ernie. Get an explanation from the referees. Things are looking up for Troy in this first period. Still a lot of hockey to play. Anything can happen. 2:43 to go in the first, but the Trojans have a power play. And Marshall Merck sitting in the box. Adam Wiley will serve the minor. And it's picked up by Zach Uhlenbrock. The clear hits off the chest of Uhlenbrock from Zachary Dyer. And LaSalle's Miller looking for a shorthander to cut into the deficit. We'll have a delayed penalty on Troy. And we'll have 4-on-4 hockey for 1:47.6. And 2:28 to go in the first. Troy 2 and LaSalle 0. That is strong. A little bit too strong on that hit. Not sure what the minor was on Merck. And it is roughing the call on Austin Strong. So it's 4-on-4. 2:28 to go in the first. We'll have 4-on-4 for 146. So Troy's second power play ends 14 seconds abruptly. As Luke Ernie will take the side of the face-off opposite Zach Uhlenbrock. Push forward. Here is a send. It's wide. Luke Ernie the rebound off the post. Here comes Engstrom behind the left face-off circle, sweeping it back. Here's Dyer between the points. Dyer lights one up. That's off a Trojan in front. Does not get to Riedel. 1:30 to go on the 4-on-4. 2:10 to go in the first. And here's one towards Riedel. Down low, the LaSalle Lancers putting some pressure on this 4-on-4. Back this way, it's Garrett Engstrom, one of few Lancers donning an alternate captain's day, along with Luke Ernie and Alex Ryan. Down this way, here's Ernie. That's off Riedel. Loose puck is swept away, and we'll have a Trojan crash into the post. And a face-off awaits us to the right of Riedel. Riedel wanting a penalty on the hit that knocked the Trojan on the right post. Drop it, and we'll keep it 4-on-4. 1:06 to play. 1:06 to go in the power play, I should say. 1:21 to go on the Trojan, roughing on Austin Strong. 1:48 to go in the first. Trojans 2 and LaSalle 0. Thanks for joining us here on the YouTube home of the Academy Hockey Club. Well, thanks South Metro Sports, Nick Poe, for allowing us to use the gear for this tournament. And now back this way, here's the captain. Open ice for Jack McGuirk. Jack McGuirk looking for a 4-on-4 goal, and he sends it just wide out of the reach of Zach Uhlenbrock coming in. Now back behind the goal line as Jack McGuirk battling down low underneath the glass here in the second-story mezzanine. Now trying to get it was Zach Uhlenbrock, and now for Grant Garrity, open ice. Matthew Miller couldn't pick it up. Now here comes Engstrom. 28 seconds on the 4-on-4 to go. 1:08 to play in the first period. 2-0 Troy. Back this way. The Trojans trying to go left wing, and we'll have another penalty as the referee hold his arm up. 1:02 to go in the first, and things are heating up on the NTPRD chiller. It's hooking the call on Mike McGuirk, and we'll have a little 4-on-3 hockey for your viewing pleasure. And LaSalle has the benefit of that 4-on-3. Once the LaSalle penalty, that minor on Marshall Merck goes away. Remember, Merck's serving an extra 10 for the misconduct. LaSalle will have a 5-on-3. It'll be a very brief 5-on-3, but still a 5-on-3 nonetheless, as Dyer slips. Picked up and left go by the blue line by Paff. Now back for Engstrom. 4-on-3 back this way. 4 seconds left, and Engstrom is whistled offside. Matthew Miller asking why it's offside. The referee pointing it out. So we'll drop it in the neutral zone. 45.8 seconds remaining in the opening frame, as Troy has taken a 2-0 lead on LaSalle. There's 3 seconds on the Merck minor. I believe Wiley is serving up for him. Down this way, it's 5-on-3 time for the Lancers, and Kerhurl will take the place of Wiley. Lancers with a 2-skater advantage for 6 seconds. 33 seconds left in the first. Trojans up 2-0. Here's a shot. Saved by Riedel. Tangled up in the slot. Here comes Garrett Paff. Paff looking for the clear, and it's back to 5-on-4. Strong out of the box, gets a touch, and a shot off of Forrest Adams. Flipped off the goal stick of Forrest Adams. That's like a spatula move that time. That's very impressive. Back this way, Troy in the own zone, pushing forward. That's Grimm, and scooped up by Troy. And behind the blue line, here comes Ernie, looking for a late first period goal to cut into the Troy lead. 1 second left in the left faceoff circle, Garrity. And that's it for the first period. The Trojans strike twice against Forrest Adams, an unassisted even strength goal by Jack McGuirk, and a power play goal by Caden Mathis, with Paff and Lombardo assisting. And it's 2-0 Troy at the end of the first period, and still 58 seconds to go on LaSalle.
Lancers coming out a little flat. Of course, when you're coming off a blowout win over this same team just last night, you come out maybe a little overconfident, a little flat. We'll see if the Lancers can pick it up in the second period. Meanwhile, for Troy, they are playing with aggression. They're playing disciplined hockey. They're playing very aggressive and playing good defense as well. So they're off to a really good start, playing kind of like they did last night in the second period of their game. That they won the period, and that was their first kind of ray of sunshine in this tournament, and they're picking it up in this first period where they left off in the second period last night.
Your shots on goal after one favor LaSalle 11-5. So that's 11 saves for Scott Riedel and 3 saves for Forrest Adams. And now we'll swap sides as Scott Riedel will take the net in front of us here in the second story mezzanine of the NTPRD Chiller here in Springfield, Ohio, downtown Springfield, Ohio, just right by US 40, Route 4, Route 41, and Route 72. It's in the midst of things. You can't miss it as the Trojans now attack up the ice against Forrest Adams, and the Lancers Army rolls down the ice against Scott Riedel. 2-0 Troy on the unassisted goal from Jack McGuirk, and the power play goal from Mathis with the assist for Garrett Paff and Caden Lombardo. Eulenbrock takes the first face-off of the second period. Now for Clisham. Clisham left wing, jammed up by Eulenbrock. Back to Clisham from the defensive feed of Zachary Dyer. 48 seconds left on the power play towards the Christmas tree corner. There is a story on that. The staff were tired of tearing it down, so they were looking for a place to put it, and it can't fit in any of those rooms back there, so that's where it is. There's a shot, saved by Riedel, rebound swept away by Strong. That was Dyer with a shot on goal. 12th shot on goal for LaSalle, and now here comes a blast off the skates of Jack McGuirk. 22 seconds to go on the hooking call on Mike McGuirk. And it's 2-0 Troy, 14-18 to go in the second. That shot does not get to Riedel, and Eulenbrock blocks it, clears it. Forrest Adams with a nice read. Back to Alex Ryan in the neutral zone with 6 seconds left on LaSalle's first power play. It's abbreviated. There's a shot down low. Ernie rebound, swept away, picked up by LaSalle. Power play done. Back to Riedel, down low, and it's covered with the left hand of Scott Riedel. Last shot was Michael Clisham, and we're back to 5-on-5. We'll have a pair of Trojans come in. That's Caden Mathis, the first one out there. It looks like that's Caden Lombardo, the second one out there. Eulenbrock's shift is done, it looks like. The Trojans are without the services of Ian Kuntz. And Kuntz will miss the entire pod tournament. Like I was telling you, it's a very special player we had in the Miami Valley. Is now Paff going for Matthew Miller. And Paff wins it. Here's Garrity sending it on target, and Forrest Adams with the stop. Scooped up by Eric Holland in front of Caden Mathis. Mathis has the second goal. It's a power play goal. Troy 1 for 2. LaSalle 0 for 1. And down this way, the Lancers are trying to roll the attack back up. Slowed down. It's Matthew Miller one-on-one opposite of Grant Garrity. Great defense by Garrity, but LaSalle has the puck again. Here's Ernie sending it around the cages. Ernie drops it to the right point, and it's fed wide of Riedel and almost off of Garrity. Controlled again by LaSalle. 13:20 to go in the second period. It's 2-0 in favor of the Troy Trojans. Again, Jack McGuirk, unassisted goal. Mathis power play goal, and that pass off of Holland's skate. It's heading back to Forrest Adams. We have had a lovely tournament as the pod is designed to help the seniors on these local teams. Here's Ernie to the house, and Ernie sends it wide. Nice look by Luke Ernie and great skating through, but it is wide of the net. Settled down again by LaSalle. That's wide left of the cage. Now picked up by Grant Garrity. Here's Matthew Miller sweeping in. Garrity picks it up defensively for Troy. 2-0 Trojans your score. 12:36 to go in the second period. Dropped in towards the corner as Garrity is done. Paff will also exit the ice. Comes back this way, trailing 2-0. If we were still keeping points, which we're not because it's Championship Sunday, this is the last game for both these teams, Troy would get the first period point because they outscored 2-0. But again, here's Wiley dropping it towards the curling targets. Excuse me. And whiffed by Mike McGuirk. One-on-one battle in the end boards. 3 minutes gone from the second, and LaSalle trailing Troy 2-0. Troy in the traveling reds and LaSalle in the home whites. The first year edition home whites for LaSalle. Very sharp jerseys. As Holland picks it up opposite of Benjamin Grimm. Looks towards Grimm, sends it around the bend, and finds the right winger. I believe that is Wiley out there. Merck still has the misconduct to serve. That's 10 minutes. I think he's about halfway through. This is a highly unscientific estimation for yours truly, but it will be flipped from the far corner, looking for the left winger. 11:22 to go in the second. And from the neutral zone, sent back in by Connor Sexton. Trojans 2, LaSalle 0. Goals unassisted, Jack McGuirk. Power play goal, Mathis, assisted by Path and Lombardo. Troy looking to get one more in the slot is Ulenbrock, and it's trapped by Forrest Adams with 11:07 to go in the second period. And it's 2-0, LaSalle trailing Troy. Now the goalies, it's Forrest Adams. His emergency backup is Adam Wiley. I don't see him on the bench, but the JV goalie for LaSalle is Dave Wagle. He played in the fall league of the Academy Hockey Club, which is held at South Metro Sports. This year exclusively at South Metro. Sent in by Mathis, and down towards the right side, rolling is Dyer. He hits the crossbar. Pinging sound from the metal as it's Lombardo, picked up by Scharf, and back for Dyer, and he lost the handle. Garrity almost hits the face mask of Carson Waite on that send, and back this way, LaSalle over the Columbus Blue Jackets logo. 10:30 to go in the second. It's a 2-0 Troy lead with McGuirk and Caden Mathis scoring the goals. LaSalle outshot the Trojans by 6 at the end of the first, 11-5. Back this way, it's Engstrom. Engstrom on the work. Now towards the right, settled down by Garrity on the red line. Garrity with the feed, bounces off the stick of Dyer, and Dyer resets it in his own zone. Opposite Path. Path almost got the handle on it. Two Lancers roll towards the right and scooped up now. And here comes Scharf. And that's a whiff by Scharf. He'll drop it back. Here's Engstrom, one-timer, kicked away by Riedel. And just slipping away from the stick of Philip Cahurl. Now here's Ulenbrock. Ulenbrock, left corner, drop back towards the point. It's Engstrom. Engstrom slowing it down was the body of Scharf, and that is off the protective net. And that's off LaSalle's stick. We'll keep it here, and LaSalle will use this time to swap out 5. Troy will swap out a couple. 9:40 to go in the second. We remain at a 2-0 lead for the Troy Trojans. No penalties since that last power play ended. There's a shot in the slot, and just out of the grab of Riedel, that went just wide of the cage. Continued battle now is LaSalle. Down to Matthew Miller, and Miller sends it wide in the slot. A perfect look, and the one-timer just curved a little bit wide of the net. Alex Ryan trying to get it back. It's in front of Connor Sexton, and LaSalle has definitely amped up the intensity in their attacking zone tenfold. The Lancers had 11 shots in the first 15 minutes, and I'd say they're close to double digits, if not already there. 9 to play in the second, 2-0 LaSalle over Troy. Here's the Dayton Stealth JV teams making their way to Springfield to watch this game, prepare for their next game. It's the battle of third place and the battle of the JVs once again, where Dayton came back and won it with a game-winning goal, 12 seconds left in regulation. And we'll have a whistle, and roughing has been called, and that's our first penalty of the second period, as LaSalle trails 2-0. And Mike McGuirk will serve a little more time in the sin bin. This time for a rough. And now we'll drop in front of Scott Riedel as the Lancers back on the 5-on-4. And LaSalle has really intensified their attack. Couple great looks, couple of point-blank opportunities. LaSalle hasn't been able to cash in yet. About halfway through this contest, it's a battle for 5th place as Troy has a 2-0 lead. The Trojans have their first lead of the tournament, and also their largest lead as Ulenbrock is chucked away from the hash marks. And it's Grant Garrity versus Luke Ernie. Flipped up, it's caught. That's Dyer. Nice baseball-style catch. That's off the leg of Clisham and wide of the net. And we'll have a delayed penalty as Matthew Miller pushed down and knocked down, and Troy will be serving a 3 PK. LaSalle back on the attack. Forrest Adams coming off the ice. And there will be a 6th Lancer momentarily. And the Trojans trying to reach for it, and the whistles will blow. That will be 1:35 of 3 time for the Lancers, trailing Troy 2-0 with 17 to go in the second. Into the box goes Strong for the interference. And that's 2 Trojans in the box for a little over a minute and a half. LaSalle's got a golden opportunity here. Eulenbrock, Garrity, and Jack McGuirk are your penalty killers out there. Clisham, Matthew Miller taking the face-off with Engstrom and Dyer out there, and Ernie, the left winger. On 33 and rolling to go on the 5-on-3, 8-12 to go in the middle frame, and cleared away by Troy on target. Down low, a stop by Forrest Adams. 2-0 Trojans on the goals from Jack McGuirk and Caden Mathis via power play. LaSalle's got a very beautiful opportunity here, as that is Ernie to the slot, and Miller sent it wide off the stick of Jack McGuirk. Jack McGuirk swings around as his younger brother Mike McGuirk's in the box for 106. And that's how much time LaSalle has on the 5-on-3. The captain recoups in his own zone. Matthew Miller for Dyer, now left wing, back to Miller, and he's met up with Zach Eulenbrock on the left. Matthew Miller trying to shoo away the captain. Matthew Miller tangled down. He lost the handle. Picked up right corner, Clisham. Going back for Ernie. Ernie will drive it from the left corner in front of the Stealth Faithful and Connor Sexton's dad. Here's Ernie. He'll flip it high and off the protective net. And it's tipped by Troy. We'll keep it in front of Riedel with 7:19 to play in the second. 37 seconds on a 5-on-3 and 1:02 to go on Strong's interference. It's 2-0 Troy as LaSalle cash in on a very nice opportunity. Ernie versus Path for this face. Jack McGuirk almost through the legs, scooped up by alternate captain Ernie. Here's Engstrom, also an alternate captain, and his feed splits past the 2 Lancers, Clisham and Miller. Miller sells it down right corner. 22 seconds left on the 5-on-feet. Pinballed away by Garrity. Back towards the neutral zone, kept in by Dyer. Here's Ernie. Ernie drives it back. Engstrom. Engstrom from the right point, looks for Miller. That skips over the stick of Miller, settled back down in the left corner. Towards the slot, saved by Riedel on Engstrom's touch. And Engstrom recoups as the 5-on-3 is down. One-timer jams up on Matthew Miller, and out for the 4th PKer is Lombardo. Blocked away by Riedel on the shot by Miller, recovered by Engstrom. 13 seconds left, bouncing away from Riedel towards the right corner, swooped away by Jack McGuirk, and a nice keep-in by Dyer. But Dyer's feed to Engstrom will drop the defenseman in LaSalle's own zone, and the 5-on-4 is done. Troy has killed off a 5-on-3. Very solid work. Down the slot, Ernie off of Riedel, rebound off the side of the net by Miller. And behind the goal line it goes. Now for Dyer. Dyer, left point, around towards the circle, away from Jack McGuirk. Here's Dyer now. Dyer towards the slot, not a clean handle, and jammed up with Skylar Adams. He couldn't push it through, but he had a nice look. It's Matthew Miller back with it. 7:40, make it 5:45 to go in the second. It's still 2-0 Troy. No goals in this frame yet, but LaSalle has been attacking. Shot off of Riedel's glove, and Austin Strong sweeps it away, and we'll have a whistle with 5:37 to go in the second. Not sure what the whistle was, as that bounced out of the glove of Scott Riedel, came back, and Strong laced it forward. That's going to be a face-off to the left of Riedel. Nice change of pace out there. It was a long-winded sequence of plays out on that ice. Battle of 5th place. Troy's leading 2-0, and Eulenbrock has been chucked out of the circle. Now for Austin Strong against Cahurl. Here's Skylar Adams dropping it back, and Holland will sweep it back. It's Scharf back to Holland. There's a shot by Holland, and it's a slide attempt by Riedel. By Eulenbrock off the backside of Mathis, scooped up by Skylar Adams. Mathis and Eulenbrock trying to clear it away. LaSalle has done a very nice job keeping that puck, and they're third of the attacking zone. Scharf knocked down. It's going to be picked up on the other side by Skylar Adams. 5:08 to play in the second. 2-0 Troy off the side of the net by Cahurl. That looked like it was going to hit off the side of Riedel and possibly bounce in. Skylar Adams. And now pushed forward by Carson Waite. Here's Holland with the back feed. On the other side, Waite's Grimm. 4:51 to play in the second. 2-0 Troy. 2 first-period goals for the Trojans. Unassisted, Jack McGuirk. Power play goal, Mathis from Path and Lombardo. To the neutral zone now, picked up on the Blue Jackets flag. And knocked down was Caherl, sending it towards the target of Scott Riedel. 4.5 to play in the second. I think Kent mentioned this in the first Troy LaSalle game, that the Troy defense was kind of leaving Scott Riedel hanging to dry a couple of points. This time the defense has really helped out Riedel. It's turned out to be a very nice game. 4:13 to go in the second. Off the stick of Sharp. Going back for it was Riedel and scooped up behind the goal line. LaSalle's offense, most of the second period, has been right in front of us, putting shots on Riedel. Holland will send it. Saved down low by Riedel. And a stoppage of play with 3:58 to go in the second. It is a 2-0 Troy lead over LaSalle with the goals from McGuirk unassisted. Power play goal for Mathis. Face-off is Marshall Merck. He has served his 12 minutes as Garrett Paff goes for it. Swept by Alex Ryan. Round the right corner it goes. Behind the cage is Scott Riedel. 2-0 Troy. LaSalle back on the attack. Deep in the slot is Rayner trying to knock a stick down. He is guarded well by Mike McGuirk. Now for Garrett Paff. Trojans puck. Sends it towards the right. It's Caden Lombardo. Lombardo drops it right corner as the Trojans lead 2-0. And Troy looking to put some pressure on Forrest Adams. It's been a very quiet second period for Forrest Adams. Save here and a save there as Merck back to work towards the slot. Shovels it on target off the leg of Rayner. Sent back in by Finn V. On the other side goes Ryan in the referee crease. 3:13 to play in the second. 2-0 Troy over LaSalle. Battle of fifth place, our last day of the 2019 POD tournament, the Post-Ohio Districts tournament. 6 teams, 4 high schools. Troy and LaSalle have to be the two. And the other two, Alter Beaver Creek, play for the championship at 5 p.m. later today. Stripped away by Blank and recovered again by Alex Ryan. Looking for the left winger in Finn V. Down this way, Paff intercepts it. Rayner almost picks it up, and Paff scoops it up, drops it back, and taken away by Marshall Merck. 2:36 to play in the second. It's a 2-0 Troy lead. It's Jack McGuirk off the glass towards the near corner and scooped up by V. V takes it towards the right, met up with Zach Uhlenbrock. Has to recoup back the other side where Merck and Rayner await. And now Mike McGuirk from the right point towards the faceoff circle. Push forward. Here's Merck. And now for Mike McGuirk. Pushing forward, Uhlenbrock. It will slip in towards the attacking zone of Troy. And Finn V will recover it again for LaSalle. 2:05 to play in the second. We should have an ice cut in this second intermission. It's a 2-0 Troy advantage. Second game is Dayton Stealth JV and Indian Hill JV. That will be next, and this is going to be icing the call on the Trojans. We'll come back in front of Riedel and drop the puck with 1:52 to play in the second as Troy leads 2-0. First lead, largest lead for Troy, with Jack McGuirk. Unassisted goal would be the game winner if nothing changes on the home side. And Caden Mathis has a power play goal with the assist from Garrett Paff and Caden Lombardo. Back this way, Clisham slows it down. It's kept in by Dyer at the left point. Clisham pushing in the neutral zone. And Clisham and Engstrom go back for it, out of the reach of Uhlenbrock. 1:36 to play in the second, 2-0 Troy. Back this way, here's Engstrom. That's high over the net of Scott Riedel, trying to go top shelf. And Dyer's pass hits off the protective net. And not touched by Troy. We'll drop it in front. In the neutral zone by the fans. Again, nice turnout of fans making their way from Springfield, Ohio. At least some of the Lancers stayed in Springfield. As Zach Uhlenbrock checks in with Luke Ernie for this face-off. Minute 27 to go in the second, and Troy maintaining a 2-0 advantage. I don't know the exact shots on goal detail in that second period, but I can tell you LaSalle has a lot in this second frame. They outshot Troy by 6 in the first, 11-5. Ernie spun down the blue line. Miller drops it back. Here's Dyer left point. That's wide of Riedel. And back this way, here's Engstrom. And that's gloved by Riedel. Great save by Scott Riedel with 1:01 to play in the second. And Riedel has been playing lights out hockey in that crease. Nearing the last minute of the second period. as Zach Uhlenbrock checks in with Luke Ernie again for this faceoff. Covered by Jack McGuirk as the captains connect towards each other on the left wing and set back in by LaSalle in the ref crease. Here's Engstrom, guarded by Garrity. Engstrom, he'll shoot it wide right. Garrity in the way of Scott Riedel. Now picked up in the corner. Engstrom flips his stick as Miller drops it back. I believe that's Klisham. Back to Miller. Miller swoops it around. Right face-off circle. Drop back for Dyer. Dyer sends it. That's wide of Riedel. 30 seconds left in the second. 2-0 Troy your score. Blue line time, Matthew Miller. Now Ernie off the bounce. Takes it behind the goal line. Uhlenbrock away in the slot, guarding the much taller Garrett Engstrom. Now Mike McGuirk right behind. And now left wing, Jack McGuirk knocks down Matthew Miller, takes the puck on the left wing with 12 seconds left. That up with Dyer, Jack McGuirk, and it's sent high off the glass. And that's off the protective net. I did not think it hit off the protective net, but we'll drop it in front of LaSalle's. Actually, we'll go in the neutral zone. 8.8 seconds to go in the second as Troy leads 2-0 over the LaSalle Lancers. Paff comes in against Luke Ernie and pushed toward out of the neutral zone. Flipped ahead, looking for Miller closing in. 2 seconds left as Klisham turns around to Miller in the left face-off circle. Shot it wide left, and that's the end of the second period. LaSalle peppered Scott Riedel in the backside with a load of shots, but Riedel has kept this game scoreless, and Troy leads 2-0 at the end of the second period.
Well, I can't say enough about the play of Scott Riedel in these first two periods. I mean, the goals against for every game in this tournament for Troy has to be up around 11 or 12 goals a game on average, but they've given up nothing here in the first two periods. And at different times in the first few games this weekend, when Riedel was had to give up a number of goals, his body language was very poor, very dejected. But I'll tell you what, he's come out today and is stopping everything. The defense is protecting him in front. It's a different Troy Trojan team that we're seeing, and it's a credit to them and their coaching staff that they didn't just pack things in after the way things have gone this weekend, instead coming out and playing like a winning team out there. And we'll see for LaSalle, again, not much more they can do. They've been very aggressive on offense, but they haven't quite been able to put the puck in the net yet. They're going to hope that some pucks bounce their way in the third period.
We'll take the break with the Big Blue Zamboni covered by Bill Marine. And it is 2-0 Troy after 2 here on the YouTube home of the Academy Hockey Club. We're heading into the third period as Troy with 2 first period goals lead the LaSalle Lancers 2-0. No goals in that second frame. By the way, the shots on goal. In the second period, LaSalle outshot Troy 18-2, 11-5 in the first period for the Lancers. Altogether, the Lancers have outshot the Trojans 29-7, and Rito has converted all those LaSalle shots into Trojan saves. As the Trojans back down the ice in the traveling reds with the gray sleeves, and LaSalle and the home whites rolling upwards towards Riedel. Kent Jacobs and Lee W. Mowen with you here. And we're back to action. 20 seconds in as Engstrom trying to work the right wing. And Ernie soars ahead of the captain, Matthew Miller. To the right face-off circle, that's off Riedel. And back to Miller on the rebound, off of Riedel. And the loose puck trickles to Luke Ernie by the Christmas tree. Again, the story on the Christmas tree is, they know it's not Christmas here. It's a fantastic staff at the chiller, but there was no real place to put the tree, and, you know, you get tired of taking it down year in, year out, so it's out there. So I had the suggestion, hey, find some St. Patrick's Day clovers, and it's a St. Patty's tree. There you go. Here's Miller rolling forward. And skip back as Luke Ernie's got to go for a defensive pick. And Troy swaps out a couple of their Army. 13:55 to go in the third period as Troy leads LaSalle 2-0. First lead, largest lead of the tournament for the Troy Trojans. Zach Uhlenbrock has scored 3 of the goals in the tournament before coming into this. The Trojans have scored 6 goals now. And sweep it around the bend, popped up at the left point, and off the shaft of the stick. That's nice handling by Connor Blank. You got to have a lot of hand-eye coordination to be able to do that. Matthew Miller now for the pickup of Marshall Merck. Miller's shift is done, and Troy picks it off. Here's a send-in. Jack McGuirk into the left glove and out of Forrest Adams. Like I mentioned, LaSalle in that second period, it seemed like the Lancers hardly left their half of the ice. But Troy did kill a very important 5-on-3 power play that LaSalle had for a little over a minute and a half. Here's the mouthpiece that just dropped. Troy trying to send it in. Played offside. Now dropped down as LaSalle in the neutral zone. That is Wiley bumped down and looking for Grimma up top. Flying forward opposite of fellow defender and Carson Waite. 12:45 to play in regulation. And 2-0 Troy, your score. Down the ice as Connor Sexton gets stripped away. Sexton giving chase as Holland on the rush. Holland attacking on the right. Holland bumping in front of Wiley towards the blue line. Now towards the far face-off circle. Swept away by the Trojans, Zach Uhlenbrock. Forrest Adams will have to come back out and play it. In the championship round, you will have a championship game that can end in a tie, and then we'll go to sudden death overtime with 3-on-3 hockey. So the part of me kind of really wants to see the championship game end in a tie in regulation, go to 3-on-3 overtime, because that is a lot of fun hockey. Tipped away, no icing on Troy, as LaSalle's going to go back and play it. 3:05 gone from the contest. Blasted wide of Forrest Adams, taken by Caden Mathis. Mathis with a power play goal. It's the second goal. Mathis looks to skim one off Forrest Adams. Rebound, Paff, save Forrest Adams. Heads up read by Paff, sending it back on target, and Forrest Adams had to dive to keep it out. Off the glass now is Paff. Chasing 2 Lancers on the other side, and it's bouncing away. Sent back in by Austin Strong. 11:30 to go in the third, 2-0 in favor of LaSalle. The consolation games will end in a tie after the overtime period. We will have overtime in case of a tie in these games. Off the stick of Skylar Adams and going wide, that is icing, as Skylar Adams was behind the red line when he received that pass, and it went to the end boards, and icing goes against the Lancers. Troy 2, LaSalle 0, 11:12 to play in the third here in Springfield's NTPRD chiller, again short for National Trail Parks and Recreation Department, as the Clark County Parks are taken care of by the NTPRD. I think that's correct. George Rogers Clark Park off of 369, just off 4. I think that's the same people that handle that as well. Scooped up now by Troy. 4 minutes gone from the third, and a 2-0 lead for the Trojans. LaSalle in their own zone, rolling it towards the left. Forrest Adams watching straight ahead. for Luke Ernie. Ernie past Jack McGuirk and past the defense of Austin Strong. Luke Ernie drops it towards the slot here. Miller sending it on target, and Riedel covers it up. He had a Lancer right in front of him and still managed to make the stop, and we'll have a whistle, and we have an injured. Actually, slow to get up is Michael Clisham, and he will be getting back up. That was a close call. It is great to see Clisham back up on the skates. 10:38 to go in the third. After that 5-on-3, it's been fairly quiet in terms of whistles. Trojans scored 2 in the first period. Again, we are not using points anymore because there's no point for them. This is the last game of the tournament and last game of the season for these squads, where 5 Trojan seniors and 9 senior Lancers will remember their high school careers fondly here at the pod. Round the left corner, Finn V scoops it up. V takes it behind the cage of Forrest Adams. V shaking off Sexton, darting it towards Matthew Miller. Cannot complete it to Matthew Miller, but it bounces off Troy and Luke Ernie. There's 3 defenders in LaSalle's zone. Now towards the left, Clisham avoids a check. Could not avoid the second one, almost into the Trojan bench by Jack McGuirk. Delayed penalty away, and LaSalle will be going to the 1 to play in the third. Looks like Alex Ryan will be going in the box. For interference. So Troy on the power play, looking to extend their 2-0 lead. Since Caden Mathis's power play goal, offense has come at a premium. LaSalle did pick off 18 shots in that second period, 11 in the first for 29 shots thus far. Face off to the left is Marshall Merck going to business with Zach Eulenbrock. And Eulenbrock took too much time, and now here comes Caden Mathis. Mathis trying to sweep it back. Tipped on the blue line by Waite. Waite will recover it just east of the Columbus Blue Jackets logo. Zipped around the corners. Here's Mathis towards the left. Bumped away by Dyer. Eulenbrock sends it wide as Forrest Adams stabs at it. Puck away from Forrest Adams. Here's Engstrom. Tangled up with Mathis and Dyer now on the right wing. Straight ahead. Luke Ernie one-on-one with Waite. Ernie has it bounced in front and scooped away by Grant Garrity. 35 seconds gone from Troy's power play as the Trojans lead 2-0. LaSalle looking to get one of those goals back on a shorthander, but Zach Eulenbrock sweeps in front of Ernie. And now the left wing action for Jack McGuirk, picked off by Dyer. Back towards the boards as Scott Riedel slows it down. It's behind Riedel. Incoming is Engstrom, but Waite will push Engstrom away towards the right corner. 9 minutes to play in the third, halfway through the power play, and Alex Ryan serving another minute for interference. Here's Engstrom sending it wide, and now picked up by Merck at the left point. Almost pushed forward by Paff. Paff going for it. Here's Paff off the boards. Mark sails it down again. 3 Lancers have been hanging around the back. It's almost like a 2-3 coming towards Scott Riedel. 2 forwards and 3 defensemen. As now Dyer swoops it around. Eulenbrock with a check and Paff chasing. Puck just out of the grab of Carson Waite in the left face-off circle. Picked up by Paff with 25 seconds left in the power play. And Paff sends it around the right corner. And that's icing on Troy. We'll come back for Scott Riedel with 21 seconds to go on Alex Ryan's interference call. 8:22 to go in the third. Trojans 2, LaSalle 0. Here at the NTPRD Chiller in downtown Springfield, Ohio. Face off towards the right of Riedel as Grimm sweeps it around, giving chases Miller. 15 seconds left on the Trojan power play as LaSalle starting to pick up the offensive side of the puck now. Jack McGuirk down this way. It's a 2-on-3. Laced around the left corner as giving chases Jack McGuirk. Collision by the end boards. And the power play is done. We're back to 5-on-5, and Ryan will go to the bench for Luke Ernie, and a whistle as Forrest Adams covers the puck up with the left hand. 7:56 to go in the third, and it remains 2-0 Troy with the unassisted goal by Jack McGuirk, the game winner, if nothing changes on the home side of the scoreboard. And here comes Zach Eulenbrock for this faceoff. Opposite Matthew Miller, a battle of the captains. Holland now left corner, swatted down by Strong. Now for Miller up ahead, it's a 2-on-1, scooped up by Troy and the reach of Mike McGuirk. Grimm to Holland. Right wing, 7:38 to go in the third. 2-0 Troy. Rolling through is Clisham. And it's turned away by Zach Eulenbrock around the corner. LaSalle, that slips just past the point man stick in Benjamin Grimm. Coach Holland pointing out towards the right to Holland. Now for Miller, met up with Eulenbrock and also Strong. And here's a shot. Ernie cannot deposit it into the back of the net. It goes wide. 7:13 to go in the third. It's a 2-0 Trojan lead here. Our last day of the inaugural Post-Ohio Districts Tournament. Thank you for joining us here in the YouTube home of the Academy Hockey Club. Now for Mathis. Mathis trying to push it through. Here's Holland looking for Ernie. Blocked by Eulenbrock. Sent behind the cage of Forrest Adams. Now on the other side for Scharf. Scharf looking for Matthew Miller. Popped up towards the LaSalle bench. And now for Grimm. Grimm trying to drop it back. Rolling through. Here's Sexton. Sexton towards the slot. Gloved by Forrest Adams. Sexton looking to add on to that Troy lead. Forrest Adams, as you did. 6:41 to play in the third. Troy 2, LaSalle 0 in the battle of fifth place. Our next game is a battle of third place, and we'll feature a rematch of the JV squads here. The two non-high school affiliated squads, meaning you don't have to go. You have to go to a certain high school that doesn't have hockey. Actually, you don't have to play for that school's hockey team either, for that matter. But it's Dayton Stealth Indian Hill Rangers. That's up next. Dayton won with 12 seconds left in regulation, 3-2 against Indian Hill. Indian Hill a 2-0 lead into the third, and then Dayton scored 3 to win it. Can't wait to see the rematch of that game. 2-0 Trojans, loose puck in front, lots of bodies in front of Riedel, and Garrity comes out with it and a whistle. And a couple words exchanged as the stripes come in, and they keep any funny business from happening. Again, Ian Kuntz unavailable for Troy. Neither is Fletcher Pollitt. This is his second game of the suspension. And we'll have Path to the Trojan sin bin. Carhurl to the LaSalle's. Now the stripe talking in towards the off-ice crew. They've done a very nice job. I want to thank them for sending me texts about what's happening down there. Jeff and Pete. And we will have neutral zone face-off. It will remain 5-on-5 on those coincidentals, so I have to assume calls are roughing. And we'll drop in the neutral zone northeast of the Columbus Blue Jackets logo. 6:10 to play in the third. It is 2-0 Troy over LaSalle with the goals from Jack McGuirk and Caden Mathis. A power play goal for Mathis with assists from Path and Lombardo. 6 to play in the third. Now to Ryan in front of the blue line, sends it on target, off the glove of Riedel, quickly back out as Jack McGuirk trying to dial it away. Ryan keeps it in from the right point. Off of Riedel, popped up over the net. Now Skylar Adams trying to shoo it away, and we'll have a whistle with 5:42 to go in the third. 2-0 Trojans over the Lancers. Again, this is the battle of the Southwest Ohio High School Hockey League teams. As Beaver Creek and Alter also as well, but this year Alter was in the red division, Beaver Creek the gold. Next year, both teams will be in the red. That's wide from the blast of Engstrom. Dyer now, right wing. By the way, it is a hold on Path and a rough on Philip Carhurl. They are coincidental minors as Skylar Adams gives chase. Troy picked up the number 1 seed in the Swashel Gold Bracket Tournament, but fell to Mason 5-3. LaSalle defeated Sycamore, and defeated Mason for their first hockey championship. Engstrom to Skylar Adams, tackling the left wing. Here comes Adams by the Christmas tree, swept away on the first bounce of Scott Riedel. Here's Engstrom. Engstrom gloved by Scott Riedel. 4:56 to play in the third. LaSalle trailing 2-0, but the Lancers amping up the offense once again against Scott Riedel on the back line of the Trojans. Merck for this faceoff, opposite of, I think that's Jack McGuirk. Thought that was going to take it for a second. And Jack McGurk is being shown the way out. He'll be replaced. I believe that's Lombardo. That goes wide of the reach of Scott Riedel. Back towards the slot, could not find Merck, the deepest lancer there. Right wing time. And up now by Zachary Dyer. Troy 2, LaSalle 0, 4:37 to play. And now here's Lombardo. Lombardo around Engstrom, but too heavy on the send through. Now here's Dyer again with a pickup away from Jack McGurk. Dyer trying to go through the defender's line, and the line holds the puck away from Dyer. Left point send in, chipped away by Troy. And there's a shot, that's top shelf, that's too high by Rayner. 4:09 to play in the third. LaSalle back on the attack. There's Engstrom. Rayner wanting it back now in the right face-off circle. And that is stopped in front of Riedel and shoot away. And Forrest Adams going for it. That's going to be ice. We'll come back in front of Riedel with 3:55 to play in the third. Nice heads-up read by Forrest Adams. And now we'll go in front of Scott Riedel towards the left of the Trojan goalie. 3:55 remains here in the third. 2-0 Troy your score. Luke Ernie battle with Zach Uhlenbrock. Blue line time. Here's Ryan. Ryan, and that's saved. Flipped on home. Score! Luke Ernie! Luke Ernie has the last touch. And the Lancers cut into the Trojan lead. It's 2-1 Trojans. 3:49 to go in the third period. A late third period goal we saw yesterday with Dayton versus Indian Hill. Will we see it again? I believe Luke Ernie had the tip in, but lots of bodies in front of Scott Riedel, and there's not much you can do as LaSalle has cranked up the offense and they score their first goal late in the third period. It's 2-1 Troy, your score. Trojans looking to get one back, and now to Ernie. Tying goal. As Zach Uhlenbrock chops it in, delayed offside. Troy dropped down as Matthew Miller rolls it forward. Miller straight ahead. By the way, both Path and Cahuro have served the two for their coincidental minors. Rolled forward by Holland. Holland trying to tie. Riedel sliding stop. Back for Matthew Miller trying to backhand one. That goes wide. Now picked up in the right corner. 2-1 Troy, and that is a biscuit sent towards the end line, and an icing call goes against the Trojans. I believe Luke Ernie had that goal, and it's from Alex Ryan and Michael Clisham. The alternate captain rings the bell. Also part of the state champion Wyoming Cowboys football team in Division 4, the only Cincinnati Dayton squad to win a state champ in football this year. Here's a blast. Also, Wyoming went undefeated in the year as well. Luke Ernie was the center on that Cowboys squad. Here's down low, Forrest Adams. It trickles off the stick glove, and it goes behind the net. Now kept in by Grant Garrity. Now for Alex Ryan. Your Coach Holland have to start thinking about pulling Adams, Forrest Adams that is, for a sixth Lancer. Try to tie it up late. If this does end up in a tie after 3, we will have a little bit of OT, as Grant Garrity wanting a one-timer, delayed penalty on the way, and Mathis, I believe he absorbs a check from behind. And Mathis is down the ice by the LaSalle bench. 2:26 to go in the third. Troy 2, LaSalle 1. And Clisham will be heading to the box. Clisham's in there. Troy will have a power play. The rest will talk about it in the neutral zone as Kate Mathis is checked out by the Mercy Health staff. Mercy Health with a brand new hospital, just a couple years old, just to the north. Dayton Stealth are getting ready for their game. They're back in their Navy alternative jerseys. I mentioned they remind me a lot of the Dayton Bombers ones. I don't think Dayton had jerseys like that, but they just give me the Bombers vibe. I dig them very, very much. As Mathis still being checked out. The penalty has not went up on the clock. Clisham's in the box. Troy leads 2-1. LaSalle got a late third period goal from Luke Ernie, and the assist from Ryan and Clisham. Clisham's currently in the box, and the Stripes have yet to say what the penalty is. And Mathis is being helped up. He's back off the ice now. Caden Mathis, wonderful personality out there, got the power play goal, which is now standing as the game-winning goal if the score holds up. Clisham went in the box. I'm guessing it's a check from behind, but it might be a minor infraction. The refs have not signaled what it is. If it's a check from behind, that's a major. If it is a minor, then we'll go back to 5-on-5 late, and Mathis is being helped up. And everyone has stick claps for Caden Mathis. He'll cut through the LaSalle bench. He'll be checked out by the training staff. Caden Mathis is walking under his own power. That is a fantastic sign. Now the Stripes are going to talk about it. As Clisham sitting in the sin bin. Now the refs talking to the LaSalle sin bin operator. Normally the team home or away operates the sin bin. Since it's the pod tournament, it is a 5-minute major against Michael Clisham. I have to assume it is a check from behind. So Troy will have a 5-on-4 advantage for the remainder of regulation. You can pick up a program for the 2019 pod tournament still. If you're coming out here to Springfield's Chiller. The Stripes talking to Garrett Engstrom. Was questioning if that was going to be a check from behind or just roughing. It looks like Mathis will be okay. And 5 Trojans take to the ice. The PK cell of the Lancers is Ernie Dyer Miller for the faceoff and Engstrom. We'll have Zach Eulenbrock with Jack McGuirk and Austin Strong, and a timeout has been taken. 2:26 to go in the third, timeout taken. With 5-minute major ringed up again. Michael Clisham. Into the nitty-gritty of things, Kent, and things are getting very exciting, but a big opportunity here for Troy to perhaps take another 2-goal advantage here late at the NTPRD Chiller.
Yeah, that was a ill-advised penalty to take at this point in the game for the Lancers. So they have to not just kill the penalty, but they have to score in the next 2.5 minutes in order to tie the game. So the Trojans, if they play some tight fundamental hockey, they should be able to come away with a win. But they've got to try to keep the puck down in the LaSalle zone here for the next couple minutes.
2:26 to go in the third. It is a 2-1 Troy lead over LaSalle. Tourney has the lone LaSalle strike. Lancers in this tournament scored 9 goals against the Trojans in their win last night. But before the Troy win, scored 5 goals in 2 games, 2 against a very tough Beaver Creek defense, and 3 against the Dayton Stealth. As Matthew Miller checks in with Zach Eulenbrock, and it will be 5-on-4 for Troy. Now Luke Ernie trying to push it through. I have a gut feeling, it's a possibility, not a certainty, that if LaSalle goes on the attacking side, Forrest Adams might be pulled. There's a shot or a 5th attacker that would kind of neutralize it, minus the goalie, of course. Couple nice sweeps. Matthew Miller, and Riedel holds on with lots of bodies tumbling and falling down. But 2:01 to go in the third. Troy leading 2-1. And the Trojans will be on a power play for the rest of this contest. We'll have a face-off to the right of Scott Riedel. Battle of 5th place, the last game of the season for both Troy and LaSalle. Troy fell to Olentangy Berlin 5-3 in their first state playoff game. In Ohio, everyone makes the tournament. Luke Ernie sweeps it around. It's not like football where you depend on computer points to determine where you play. It is just if you make it through in your high school team, you get to play with high school players. Spin around job. Working is Lombardo. A 2-on-1, and it's stripped away by Garrett Engstrom. 1:32 to go in the third. Engstrom pulling it back. And the Lancers Attacking on the left, here comes Jack McGurk with a bump on the shoulders of Matthew Miller. Back to Troy with the puck. Troy doing everything they can to milk. 1:18 left to go in regulation. Zach Uhlenbrock back with it. Flip towards the left, and Luke Ernie will exchange it in the attacking zone, but his feeder towards the slot is blocked by Jack McGurk. We're entering the last minute of regulation. Troy Trojans 2, LaSalle Lancers 1. Engstrom back with it, Forrest Adams sliding in the crease. Engstrom curving it towards the right. Some open ice for the defenseman. Engstrom around the cage, now pulls up left faceoff circles, shoots it high. A one-on-one battle is Ernie, back to Zachary Dyer this time. Dyer feeds it towards the left corner and scooped up by LaSalle. 35 seconds left, and a delayed penalty as Forrest Adams going to the bench. Jack McGurk will be going to the box, and we'll skate 4-on-4 for the rest of regulation. Jack McGurk's in the box. And the two stripes will talk about it. So Jack McGurk's in the box. And normally, the stripes talk that long. It's not just a minor. It is a 5-minute major. I think they got Jack McGurk with a check from behind. And a timeout taken by LaSalle. 32.8 seconds to go. Can LaSalle tie it late in the third period? It's Troy 2 and LaSalle 1 here on the YouTube home of the Academy Hockey Club. Thanks for joining us here. It's been an honor bringing you all 12 games, Kent Jacobs and I. The two stripes talk it over. I see assistant coach Preston Hofler, the star players in the Southwest Ohio High School Hockey League when I started covering high school hockey. Tremendous offensive talent for Troy. Raised by his grandparents. It's always fun to talk to him, as his mom passed away due to breast cancer. So I know Preston Hofler, when the Troy Trojans had the Stick It to Cancer game, it really meant a lot to him. Used to have a really nice flow, like a really nice hockey flow as well. It's going to be a face-off in LaSalle's zone of attack. Marshall Merck versus Zach Uhlenbrock. 2-1 your score, favoring the Trojans. Merck towards the slot. Now picked up. Engstrom's got to retreat a little bit. Back in the neutral zone. Forrest Adams is gone. It's an empty net situation for LaSalle. There are 5 skaters out there. It's a 5-on-4 extra attacker 4-on-4 situation. I hope I just didn't confuse you out there. 5-on-4 extra skater towards the empty net. Engstrom knocks it down. It's going to curve wide. 8 seconds left. LaSalle's got to get back in their attacking zone. Engstrom, red line. 3 seconds. Engstrom curves it to the slot. Left face-off circle. And he doesn't get the shot off in time. And the Troy Trojans have won. The Trojans defeat the LaSalle Lancers 2-1 for 5th place here at the inaugural Post-Ohio Districts Tournament. Scott Riedel and the Trojans hold on, and that will be the first win for Troy in this pod tournament. The game-winning goal goes to Caden Mathis, a power play offering, with Garrett Paff and Kane Lombardo assisting. And the first goal for Troy is Jack McGurk unassisted. And the lone goal for LaSalle late in the third, alternate captain Luke Ernie. Great game on tap.
Yeah, and the Trojans, again, what a turnaround today. They averaged giving up 11 goals per game in the first 3 games of their tournament. But coming back in this last game and only giving up 1 late third period goal shows a lot of resolve and determination to try to come back and shake off the bad feeling that had to be existing after the last couple of days, and they come out with a win.
Great win for the Trojans. They strike twice in the first and hold on as LaSalle gets 1 late in the third for a 2-1 Trojan victory. And that's how the season wraps up for the Trojans and the LaSalle Lancers. Glad to see the Trojans and Lancers one final time here from the pod tournament. Both teams had a very successful season. And we'll see what Troy and LaSalle can bring back to the rink in 2019-2020. Let you blink, and it's right there in front of you, starting in November with the preseason bouts. As the Trojan faithful welcome their team, they're quite proud of how the Trojans battled this weekend. And Caden Mathis is skating. That's a great sign as well. Helped off the ice. But he's got to carry the water bottles, too. You score the game-winning goal. Pick up the water bottles and go. As Dayton Stealth welcoming the Troy Trojans, Caden Mathis, and a couple hugs out there. And we're about ready to see Dayton versus Indian Hill. And that's up next here in the YouTube home of the Academy Hockey Club. Again, your final for the 5th place game. It is Troy 2, LaSalle 1. For Kent Jacobs, this is Lee W. Mowen, and we'll talk to you again next game.